Welcome back to the podcast. Today I have a dear friend, at times a mentor, at times a shoulder to cry on, but just like we've done it all together in terms of like content and just living life. Welcome to the show, Taya DiCarlo.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Ricky.
So,
thanks for having me.
For the record, Taya's doing a solid because she just drove from LA, and that
After 12 p.m.
That is not an easy drive, and she's doing it again after 12 p.m. So, thank you for being here. I'm really excited.
You're welcome.
I'm really excited to talk to you. I mean, damn, you've been able to do a lot on social media in the last 3 years. And I say the last 3 years because that's for the record. That's most of our working together time. Like,
Yeah.
Just watching you go from where did you start? Was it like 4,000 followers?
It was
to
barely 5,000 followers because I remember it was when I met Chai Ming that she and I had the goal of hitting 10,000.
Right. Yep.
And both of us didn't
Yep.
have 10,000. So it had to have been like 4,000 followers. But even then, I thought that was a big deal. I was proud of that.
It was a big deal. And in 2020, views were way easier to come by. So
They were. And we went from, I was making videos in the extra bedroom of my house, having someone else edit them before I met you. And then I was introduced to you, and we were filming the first Taya's 2 Cents in the extra bedroom of your parents' house.
That's right.
That was before you had the studio.
So that's so funny. Okay, first question on the list is how we met.
Yeah.
How we met is you called me one day and you're like, I'm looking at your content. I see this Johnny Bananas thing. I
Yeah.
love everything. What are we doing? And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
I was like, will you help me? I want to, have someone. I've got my ideas. That was the thing. It was like I was not looking to outsource the content creation,
Right.
the creative aspect.
Yeah.
I was looking for someone to help bring my vision to life. I wanted a director.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the record, at that time when we were doing that, it was just me.
Yes.
We have, you work with a full team now, but at the time.
It was
just
baby
me.
Ricky, baby Taya.
In mommy and daddy's spare bedroom, the bedroom I grew up in.
Yeah, and even your sister had her side business going in there too.
Exactly. The
was a masseuse.
esthetician one in
Or
the back.
esthetician,
Yeah,
yeah.
esthetician because she had the table back there.
Your parents
which
are
is
great.
Thank you, mom and dad, for allowing us to start our businesses throughout that
To
house, our
encourage
childhood home.
being entrepreneurs.
Amazing real estate, a piece of real estate right there.
Mom and dad, way to go.
But okay, so the first question I had is like, people see you. Like, I can't tell you like how many people. Like, I literally can't. There's so many people who are like, I want content like Taya's. I want content like Taya's. I want Taya's. I want Taya's. And their starting point's like nothing, or next almost nothing. Right?
That's what mine was.
That's what I'm saying.
Respect.
So like, how do you like? How long were you doing content before we started?
Yeah.
And what did it feel like to do it? Just because I know.
Yeah.
Whether you set up your iPhone or you set up a camera and you're just like, okay, like I'm just gonna do this. Like, and it's so hard. Like, how was that? How long did you do it for? And like, what was it like then?
Well, let's also preface this with, I still have my days when I'm nervous and don't want to do it. I think people need to hear that.
Yeah.
That even someone who's seasoned and experienced like me, who also used to be a TV host, right? Even someone with that sort of on-camera background, I still have days where life is happening or I'm not in a good mood or whatever. But I started doing content on Instagram specifically in 2015.
Right.
And it was basically just my iPhone. And I would take it like this, and it didn't even have one of these. Like, these weren't even a thing yet where I could go like that. That didn't exist, okay? This is back in the day. I would take a book or some sort of heavy object, a heavier water bottle, and I would prop my phone up. Yeah. And I had just had a baby.
Yeah. Maybe one or two.
At this point, Gio was like a year old, and I had lost a baby in between my two children. So I literally, it may have been right around that same time that I was early stages of that second pregnancy. So I was not feeling good. I was bloated. I didn't look good. I didn't feel good, but I was like, I'll be damned if I don't start building my business.
Right.
And so I was making videos in the conference room of Coldwell Banker.
Yep.
And because I was insecure about myself, I just stood in front of a window, and I didn't have a timer or anything. And I was using,
and the window was for light?
The window was for light. And I didn't even know what I was going to do for the topic, but I just started talking to the camera. Yeah. And I put like a black and white filter on, or like a sepia tone.
Yep.
Sepia,
just
whatever.
Sepia, whatever it's called.
Whatever it was called, to just make myself feel better, because I was so insecure about how I looked.
And that's one of the biggest things that I always encourage people. Like, hey, like, you're never... People, PSA, even when you're who you want to be, you almost never, like, truly love how you look.
It's human nature.
Yeah,
no one even likes the sound of their voice.
100%. Like I look at myself like I shot a podcast before this, and I was looking at my face, and I saw like the little crow's feet right here.
Oh my God,
and but it's the first thing I see, because we are trained as people to look for our own insecurities. So it's like, step one, get out of your own fucking way.
Yeah.
Like that's what it sounds like you were doing there. You're like, I don't care where I am. I've got a window, I've got a phone, and I'm going to do it.
Yes. And I knew that no one else was doing it. And I knew that I don't know a lot of people in the area at the time. And so I was like, I need to get the word out.
Right.
And that was my first talk to camera stuff in 2015.
Yeah.
But prior to that, in 2012 and 2013, I had, what was that called? It was like it was a digital camera.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on the phone.
Okay.
It was an actual
like just a little like point and shoot kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a point and shoot kind of camera. And I was going into local restaurants or a little boutique, and I was interviewing the owners of the stores back in 2013, right before I had kids.
Yeah.
I was like 15 pounds lighter. Like I was literally going around Hermosa Beach, and it was called Hermosa Living. And I was like trying to start a blog. And so I was constantly failing and then succeeding, trying and failing, and just trial and error over and over and over and over again for years.
Was the error, like when you say that, I have two questions. Was the error things that you were just, it's done, I'm posting it? Or was it like, it's so bad, I won't even?
No, I would post it, but I wouldn't be consistent with it. I would always post it.
I would. It's so funny because I'm very similar. Like, you kick my ass in terms of volume right now, but I'm trying to just, all I ever preach is stay consistent.
Yeah.
Like 1 a week, if that's what you're doing, then do it. 2 a week, if that's what you're doing, then do it. But the fact that you just like, you always want to do more.
Always.
But if you can have the mindset of like, okay, I'm doing this now and this is going to get posted, so that's the goal for now.
That's all it is, because things didn't change for me until I had a routine. Things didn't actually start kicking into a new gear.
Yeah.
And let's not be naive. Your business cannot be a one-trick pony like social media, right? I'm still making phone calls. Yeah. I'm still going to live events, charity events. Yep. Like today I played tennis.
Yep.
Yes, I want my workout, but I'm also playing tennis to meet people at the country club that I'm a member at, so I can build new relationships. I'm networking, and I'm not looking for a deal tomorrow. Yeah. I may have a connection with someone who's going to give me business 2 years from now. Yeah. I'm playing the long game.
Absolutely.
I want genuine connections. I want to help other people.
Absolutely.
Because I believe in reciprocity.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I started doing consistent video that like the phone started ringing.
Totally. And it's a funny thing. So I have two questions, because you said something in passing that was kind of a big thing, and then which is, you just lost a baby, and I because I'm your friend, like we don't have to go too far down that rabbit hole, but because I'm your friend, I know that actually like kicked you into gear. As sad as it is and as hard as it is, I remember you saying like you just needed something. Like I need to get out of this hole that I'm in, and I think you found content, and you were like, okay, this sucks, but like I think I need to do it in order to become who I'm becoming. Is that
100%? It was almost therapeutic in a way that I didn't want to be defined by what happened. I didn't want, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I felt my feelings. Like, you have to feel it in order to heal it, whether it's a death or a divorce or a hardship, adversity of any kind. If you stifle it down by ignoring it and becoming a workaholic, or if you numb it with alcohol or drugs or whatever, it will come back to haunt you. Yeah. And it will be bigger and worse if you deal with it down the road. Yeah. Whereas, like, if you go through it, you don't get over it. You go through it. Yeah. And it's not linear. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So you have to keep trying. And so for me, it kept me on track. It got me back into a routine, and also it inspired me to take care of my body. Yeah. And get back into a workout routine, because it's all connected. Yeah.
And you could see I'm getting emotional. I just had my own daughter too. So like in that moment, I was like, I can't even imagine like what you're feeling. And then had just to pick yourself up by your big girl pants and like, okay, I'm just going to do it. Like, so.
It sucks. I mean, there were times, and look, we on this podcast, we want everybody to know, we didn't know, we have questions lined up, but Ricky and I, we've been friends for so long, we didn't know where this conversation
Technically,
was
we're only
go.
on question one, so.
That's okay, but we're just going to go with it, because you can cut this up into however you need to use it.
Yeah.
But there was a time when I went out and I tried to go out back into the workplace sooner than I thought I was ready.
Sure.
And people thought I was still pregnant because I still looked pregnant. Right? So you're faced with this physical challenge.
And let's be clear about that. She's networking, so she's not around the people she's always around who would have at least some insight.
Right.
This goes back to her networking thing. You're talking to people you don't know all the time who are hitting you with this very hurtful question unknowing.
They're just like,
they just don't know, though.
They go,
like,
when's the baby due? Oh, is it a boy or a girl? Or you lose the weight and they're like, oh my gosh, you've lost all the baby weight. And you're just like, you know?
One for the record here, I did a mom's podcast in here. Nadia was on it, and a couple of her coworkers and stuff, and none of those questions work. Just stay away from all pregnancy questions.
Never comment
Just
on
leave it.
anyone's body, even a man.
Leave it. Like, yeah.
No, seriously.
Well, I'm specifically with the pregnancy thing. Like, leave it alone. Like, it's they're pregnant. That's great. Talk about something else.
Yeah. Even today.
You look great. Period.
Well, and honestly, this is even like not even having to do with like going through hardship, like what we're talking about. Like I was playing tennis.
Yeah.
It was 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay. It was hot.
Yeah.
Usually I wear makeup to cover my redness because I've got a little bit of Scotch Irish in me.
A little blush action.
I get a little red, and by a little I mean a lot, where I look like a burn victim. Okay. And this guy, I'm talking to my friend. He walks by. He goes, "Whoa, you're red." And I'm like, I wanted to be like, really,
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
I was like, I looked at him and I go, I know. Thanks.
My God.
He could have left it there. And he goes, you should really drink some water. And I go, gosh, I probably drink more water than all 6 people in this room. And he looked at me and I was like, I know I'm red. I'm Scotch Irish. And he wouldn't let it go. So my point is that.
Wait, how long did the interaction go for?
He literally said I was red probably 6 times, to the point where my friend looked at me. I was like, have you ever seen a woman hit a man? I was like, I'm literally.
With a tennis racket?
No, really. Like, I'm literally, when we were inside, it was so weird.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, a lot of times people feel like they don't want to do anything online with video because they're afraid of what someone's going to say. Right?
Yeah.
Or they're afraid that people are going to talk about them.
Yeah.
Or they're afraid that someone's going to confront them if they say the wrong thing, or if they wear the wrong thing, or if they look the wrong thing, whatever.
Yeah.
They will say something.
Yeah.
They are saying something.
Yeah.
And you just need to accept that. Even if it's this douchebag at the country club who's telling me I'm red in the face, it's like, listen, you have to know who you are and stand in your truth, even if it's something silly and stupid like that, or something deeper like after a miscarriage going out and having people comment on your body.
It's just a good practice.
Yeah.
It's a good practice to just be rooted. Like, regardless of, as if I could just sum that up, just be rooted, because it's all hard. Good, bad, it's all hard. Like, you could feel like $1 million, make a video about something, and someone's going to be like, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about. And you're going to feel that for a minute. Yeah. But stay rooted and move on. Yeah, make another video.
And you can't hide from it. You can't stay locked in your house all day.
There's a quote about this that I think is like the clearest thing, is like, you're never going to be insulted by someone doing more than you. Like, someone doing more than you knows how fucking hard it is. They're not going to say anything. Yeah. Except compliment you on how much you're doing.
You're absolutely right.
So that's the one thing. And then the other thing is Ed Milet. I don't know who said the first one, but Ed Milet always says, which is like,
he's great.
Yeah, he's literally amazing.
Yeah.
Aren't you related to him?
No, my friend is related to him.
Got it.
It's like it's her cousin or
Got
something.
it. Yeah, super cool. Amazing. What a fortunate cousin. Also, this is his coaching group.
Love it.
So, but Ed Milet always says things happen for us, not to us.
100%.
And it's just a perspective. Like, I think we can all agree a miscarriage is top 2 horrible things that could happen to you, but you found a way to make that, you own that shit.
Thank you.
You're like, hey, that sucked. I want something better for my life, and I will not be defined by this thing.
I'm doing it with my divorce too.
Yeah. God damn.
You know, but look, here's the deal. I had this misconception that people who are really successful in life don't have as many hard things happen to them. I don't know where I learned that. I thought, wow.
Oh, no, it's the thing.
So it's like, must be nice.
Because when you're on the outside looking in,
right,
all of someone's hard work, you're seeing the highlight reel.
Yeah.
It's like Hermosi says, you're not seeing the Rocky cut scene only goes for 2 minutes, and the rest of the movie is him kicking ass.
Right.
But in real life, it's the other way around.
It's the other way around. And that's where it's like, when I started working on my health and fitness, and I actually saw the results, I was like, holy shit, I just transformed my body. And I knew that it didn't happen overnight. It happened by stacking pennies.
Sure.
And the first few days, that stack of pennies is like fucking nothing.
Yeah.
But after 45 days of stacking pennies, it's huge. And then you see the results.
Yep.
So when I see someone with an amazing body, I'm not jealous of them. I'm like, that person has discipline.
Yeah.
That person
Look
has
for the
drive.
good in it.
That person wakes up and goes to the gym and eats right, like on days when they don't feel like it.
1,000,000%.
The same thing goes with someone who's really successful in business now.
Yep.
Now that I've built something that I'm proud of, I'm like, wow, you know what? When I see another entrepreneur who has built a successful business, whether it's in video marketing or in real estate or whatever business you're running, I feel like, wow, that person has gone through some shit.
Absolutely.
They've experienced a death. They've experienced a loss. They've experienced
Absolutely.
a breakup.
Absolutely.
And they showed up every day, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so that has been a huge lesson for me, knowing that I will not be defined by the bad things that happen in my life, because for every bad thing that happens, there's so many good things. And life is just so diverse.
Amen and hallelujah on that.
Yeah.
Follow-up question. So I said I had 2 when I brought up the first one. 2015.
Yes.
It's not like now. You don't have coaches telling you have to do content. You don't have the Tom Ferry groups of the world like coaching you through it. Who's telling you to do content in 2015?
You.
In 2015?
No, 2015?
Yeah.
Oh, 2015.
When you first started. No, like when you first
nobody.
started. Yeah, so like it's not even like, so for context, it's not even happening. Like content isn't.
It wasn't happening. In fact, people were making fun of me.
Sure.
I had a friend who actually said to me, oh, you know, so-and-so, like so-and-so's cousin was following you and she doesn't follow you anymore because she thinks you're annoying. I was like,
it's so funny.
Oh, I'm annoying? I was like, well, good. I'm glad she doesn't follow me because I don't want to be friends with her anyway.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, and A, why are you telling me this, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm glad that she told me.
Sure.
Because I was like, people are watching.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Instead of thinking, oh my God, I can't make content because one person didn't like me. A stand-up comedian is not trying to make the entire room laugh.
Yeah.
They're telling jokes that they think are funny. And if it lands on a few people, fantastic. Perfect. I'm not making content for everybody. And if you're threatened by my light, I'm sorry, I'm not going to dim my light to make you more comfortable.
That's probably the biggest.
That's a you problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So in 2015, I was making content because, I don't know, like my background was as a TV host in media. So I thought, well, everyone else has this sort of nepotism thing going where they have connections in their family, and I don't.
Did you see what social media could be at that time?
No.
Okay, you did. Okay, so you were just like, I know I need to do something. I have a on-camera background.
Yeah.
Film background. I'm just gonna go for it.
I just thought if people knew me, they'd want to do business with
100%.
me. That's all I thought, and I thought,
what a takeaway. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
If people knew me, they'd want to do business with me, which is like
without a doubt. I was like, I'm awesome. I know my shit. I just closed, 2 deals in the beginning of my career. And I was like, and those customers, those clients loved me. If more people knew about me and actually got to know me, they would want to work with me.
Yeah. And that's the key, because we're all so different as people.
Yeah.
Like this conversation we're having, like, I'm not going to, like, I know it's great because we're going to have a good conversation, but like in the back of my head, I'm like, nobody cares about what I have to say about anything. But like,
that's so human.
At the same time, like I say things my way.
Yeah.
I'm no one else. Taya's no one else. And people want to work with us for that reason.
Yeah. And the people who don't want to work with me and don't want to work with you, that's fine. There's only 24 hours in a day and my schedule's tight, honey. I only got room for the people I actually really
100%.
like and love and trust. And honestly, this past year, I can confidently say I love everyone I've done business with this year.
And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That makes work so much easier.
100%. Give me fewer clients who are just for the year that are actually amazing versus 3 times as many clients and a third of them are jerks.
Yeah.
No way. It's not worth my mental health. My
100%.
mental health, my time with my kids, and me growing spiritually and emotionally is way more important now than the almighty $1. Like, I want to make enough money to have a great life, but I'm not focused on, being like the biggest person in real estate.
Yeah. Well, you're becoming one or you are one, and you're taking it over very quickly.
Thank you.
Okay. Follow-up question. Kind of a separate side note here. So you were doing content like before, like when you came to me, you're like, I want to do it at this level.
Yes.
Like I've been doing it. I think at 2015, it was here.
Right.
When you met me, it was like here, but you're like, I want to be up here.
Right.
How did those stages in your business correlate to your bank account?
Oh my God. Like I've done a couple talks on this.
Yeah.
Where
I know because I was at one
chart.
with you, but I'm just like, just because I think it's so fascinating. And
Yeah.
you actually showed a chart.
Yes, it was incredible. So even as early as 2019, I had 0 agent to agent referrals.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, realtors oftentimes get referrals from other realtors from around the country.
Yep.
In 2019, I knew a lot of people. I was like one of the first agents at Compass. People knew who I was, but I wasn't getting any referrals, right? In 2020, right before the pandemic, Jason Pantana had said to me, Taya, you need a routine. Like you need to have a weekly web series, show, whatever you want to call it. Even if they're a minute long, who cares? But like every week without fail, blah, blah, blah.
And you had a coach at that time.
Yes.
That's what that was.
Exactly. And he's like, and combine that with your emails and all the other traditional methods that you're doing, because it was not just social media. It was a blend of everything. But I call social media and video marketing kind of like the people mover at the airport.
Yes.
It's going to just get you there faster.
Yes.
Other people are walking. People on the people mover are flying through.
They're like, it's the little excavator thing.
Yeah,
and
they're just like you're just like going straight through that airport. And that's what video marketing was for me. And within 3 months of you and I working together, it wasn't the old videos. It was like you and I working together. My phone was ringing. And granted, the market was hot too, but my phone was ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
And I went that 2020, I got, I think, double digits of as far as agent to agent referrals. And then the following year, my volume doubled. So I think when I started doing social media marketing, I think my business grew almost 400%. It was something insane.
I remember seeing the graphic. And it's wild. Do you have that graphic still?
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
Luke, let's grab that and we'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
It's honestly insane.
Yeah.
That's tight. And I think the market was hot, but you also were just like doing it, and then you just took it up here. And
yeah,
I want to ask you a question because I know how I feel about it, but can you elaborate on this kind of like thought? Before you were like, I'm just going to pay and double down and do this thing, even if I'm like not really ready.
Yeah.
You pay for it. Don't you just kind of become who you're like? Isn't that like the step you need to take to become who you want to be?
There's the phrase, I don't know if it was a JFK quote where he says, throw your hat over the fence. So don't quote me on that one.
Okay.
If it's not JFK, it's somebody important who said,
can you look that up?
throw your hat over the fence or over the wall so you have to go get it.
Yes.
Right? And so that's what I did with this.
Yep.
I spent about a week, just to be transparent, I spent about a week prior to meeting you developing the colors and the vibe and wanting to really identify who I am as a person, because I believed that my brand is me.
Yeah.
It's not a logo. It's not a color. It's like, what's the essence of Taya? And what do I say all the time? And I was like, well, my 2 cents is this. And like, that's how it was kind of born. And yeah.
And
I just went for it.
It's a twofold story. Did you get that? Did you get it, Luke?
Throw your hat over the wall.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. But there's 2 things there. And it happened with both of us because I wasn't necessarily qualified to do that. I had done a lot of things, but I had never done what you're asking me to do.
And you were scared.
Hell yeah, I was scared.
And
I
so
was
was
living at my
I.
parents' house. I was living at my parents' house. I literally like bought, what is it? There you go.
Oh, JFK's grandfather.
JFK's grandfather. Throw your hat over and go get it. Meaning sign up.
Go for it.
Make it happen. So you hired me, and at that time, I was like, at that time, it was like you were paying me like $5,000 to do this, like this side and then this side. And I was like, God, I can't fuck this up. I can't fuck this up. Like I've done things. I had done a lot of things, and like you knew, I think you knew that I had it. I knew that you had it, but it was just kind of like, for me, it was just like, you're my client. I got to make sure it's good. And I was just like terrified. I'm in my parents' house, and I was just like, we need backdrops. I had one camera. I was like, I know I can get another one. I need a slider. So I'm just like renting things, like violently, like looking at what I needed, like typing. Okay, backdrop this and that. And to your point, it's like, throw your hat over, go get it.
Well, and you were resourceful. Listen, you can't teach this okay? You're either the person who's going to go on YouTube and type in the code for your washing machine that's giving you the error code.
Yeah.
And you're going to watch the YouTube video on how to fix your washing machine before calling the tech.
Right.
When they just do beep, bop, boop, and it's done. And you're like, why did I just pay $150 for that? You're either the type of person who's going to look up a YouTube video or like you go, okay, what do I need and where can I find it? You're not going to go call someone and be like, hey, can you be my mentor and teach me da 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 da. You're going to be waiting with your hands under your ass.
Yep.
And nothing's ever going to happen.
Yep.
You literally, like you said, I just went for it, right?
Yeah.
You got into go mode.
Yeah.
Until you hit a wall where you actually do need help. You just figure it out like I did.
Yeah. And those early stages of our content were some of the coolest ones, because we were doing the Taya's 2 cents, but we were also going out and doing On Trend.
Yes.
And On Trend, it was a show where you just wanted to cover like what's hot in the market. And so we did like a lighting episode.
It was very labor intensive.
It was hard. I think we realized that. I think as we learned the scale of things, we were like, okay, maybe not that one. Yeah. Maybe we'll just focus on Taya's 2 cents. But it was just so cool. And those days were fun, and we were meeting people and chopping it up and driving all over LA to get stuff done.
We were being creative also because no one was watching in the very beginning.
Right.
So there wasn't a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And if I could go back and do it again, I would be even more risky and more creative and dare to fail harder.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because absolutely, when you have nothing to lose, you had a family, you had a lot to lose, but in business, you were like, okay, I've just got to do something.
Yes.
But let me ask you this. When we were doing that early content, I know that I was like, my anxiety level through the whole shoot was like at a 9 or 10. Like it was at like a 10 because I'm like looking at 2 cameras and I'm still figuring both of them out. I'm like, I think that's right. I think that's right. You look and sound good. Yeah. And I'm like trying to listen to you and like, you're like, oh, did that sentence make sense? And I was like, did it make sense?
Because remember, I was like wearing a mask during half the videos too. Gosh. Oh my God.
And so, so was your anxiety like through the roof too?
No.
But was it at any time in your content creation process?
No, it's usually right before I post that I get nervous.
Okay.
When I'm in the moment, maybe it's because of my acting background.
Sure.
I know from my acting training, the moment you switch the focus to you and not your scene partner, the scene's down the fucking shit. And you can't make the focus on you.
Right.
The focus is on the person I'm interviewing. The focus is on the idea. The focus is on the commitment to telling the story. And quite frankly, when I'm in the moment, and you'll see, like I look like I'm sometimes possessed when I'm here and doing my Taya's 2 cents, and I spit it out, and you guys are like, "Whoa,
she did it!
No, we're not doing another take." And I'm like, I blacked out. What happened?
What happened? Yeah.
Right. And that's how I am when I'm filming because I know my in advance.
Yeah.
I am prepared. Even if my ideas are loose, I know what I know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to it's just a conversation, right? And that's why the content comes out really genuine because I'm not trying to read a script. I'm not trying to copy anyone at all, ever.
Yeah. I think my only point, because you crush. Now there's obviously no issue. You come in here and you run through it. But like my only point was like when you do new things, you just have to do it. Yeah. Like I operated and I was talking to Derek about this too on another podcast, but I was operating at like a 9 of anxiety, which like day in and day out. Cause like, I was like, I don't know how to do any of this, but like, I know I'm good cause I've done it. You've seen it, but like, this is all new. Yeah. And like everything was so like, it's just hard. New things are hard. Yeah. People who do things who are hard can be successful. So I think that was like my thing. It's like going back to like when you were making videos at a window in 2015, it's like, it's hard. Yeah. It's not going to be easy.
Well, I want to applaud you on something though, because I don't think a lot of people know how into self-development you are.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Because that's what I remember of those times. You remember them as being in your head and being anxious.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
What I remember during those times, I remember thinking, wow, Ricky's so committed. Ricky is growing right now.
Yeah.
Right? Ricky is trying new things, almost like you're lifting weights at the gym and it's heavier than you've ever done before. And you're like, do I have a spotter? Do you have me? Yeah. Like, can I do this? Right? Yeah. And you just push through.
Yeah.
And you at that time were reading books and taking classes and listening to podcasts and doing all these things. Look, so many people in the world are capable and have the skill set to do what I do, what you do, what a lot of people do for a living. But a lot of people don't ever make it to that next level, or they don't even try. Why? Because of this.
Yeah. It's okay. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say.
You conquered that.
I was just saying like you might have to operate at a 95% capacity of anxiety just to get through what you're trying to do. But on the other side of that's everything else you wanted.
Just like I had to operate at a 90% capacity of grief.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
So, or stress.
So yeah,
or like dealing with the yucky feelings of loss and, grieving, whatever it is. Because grief can take a lot of different forms. It could actually be a physical death, or it could be a breakup, or whatever.
Yeah.
The bottom line is that when you are grieving, it comes in waves.
Yeah.
You are not your feelings.
And
so
you don't get to choose when.
You don't get to choose when it hits you. So someone who just lost a parent, right? They're not crying all the time.
Right.
In fact, they're really conflicted over the fact that sometimes they have joyful moments.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So when someone's like, hey, how are you? And they're like, well, right now I'm fine, but now I feel sad again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because you just talked to me like that, right?
Yeah.
So some people are operating through life at 90% capacity of grief just in that moment, but they show up and they push through anyway. You showed up with the anxiety. The bottom line is, if you allow your mood to dictate your business,
That's it.
you lost.
That's it.
You are not your mood. You are not your feelings.
Yeah.
Your feelings come and go like people entering a room.
Yeah.
And sometimes grief and joy and anxiety and excitement and sadness and hope, they can all be at this table at the same time.
Yeah. It's why I really like challenges, like self-development challenges.
Yeah.
Like whether it be 75 hard or whatever you're doing, but it's just because you commit it to yourself, because like I'm doing this, and you do it every day. Regardless of what you feel like doing, you're just going to do it.
Because it provides you with routine and consistency.
That's it.
Because you can't control all these other things, variables that could come and go. But if you can count on yourself to be physically and mentally strong for anything that comes your way, you're squared away.
You're giving yourself a little proof. Like you gotta give yourself a little proof that you can do what you say you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So we don't have a ton of time. So I want to get into two.
I know, we could talk forever.
No, for real, because we've been friends and we
might have to do 2 seconds.
We might have to do another one, but I have two things I for sure want to talk.
Are we interesting to listen to?
That was It's.
Oh, Ricky and I are buds, man. Like.
It's funny because you guys have come into where we are and like Taya crushes and all that stuff, but you just didn't see us like.
Oh, in the beginning.
So Derek and I did our podcast before this, just talking about the business and how we started, before all this stuff and all the hardship and all the shit that was going on.
And it's not linear, right? It's not linear. So your success, just because you took 2 steps back, did you take 2 steps back?
I don't think so. Yeah,
you didn't.
No.
It's just part of the journey. It's just another turn. And so someone told me recently, I can't tell you who it is.
That's
okay.
fair.
But someone told me recently that everything that needed to happen, everything that happened needed to happen. Yeah. It's all perfect.
Absolutely. And wait, can't you tell us who it is?
I just can't.
You just can't. Okay.
Yeah. Fair. But everything that happened needed to happen. And it's all perfect.
Okay, I got one for you too. So I love that one. And here's one of my all-time favorite quotes. Steve Jobs says, "You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards." So you cannot connect the dots of your life looking forward. You can only look back and be like, "This is how I got here." Like it's probably I probably have 3 favorite quotes, and that's probably like the third.
Yeah.
It's so good because I make marketing videos about food as one like team of our business. I worked at a food media company called Foodbees who sent me around the world to teach me how to make food videos.
Everything's connected and everything is perfect. Even the hard makes you who you are today.
Absolutely. Okay. 2 questions. First one, you market a house better than anyone. So when you sell a house, I think, people are hiring you because you're going to sell it. You're going to get a good price for it, but you do some unique stuff. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what I see.
Okay.
So you obviously make the content, you make our personal branding content together. You crush that.
Thank
but
you.
you always do a house walkthrough.
Yes.
You always so everyone always does videos and photos, but you look for the story of the house, the neighborhood.
Yes.
What could happen? Tell me, where'd that come from?
And now everybody's doing it.
I don't think so. Well, kind of, but no one does it quite like you.
Thank you.
So tell me, where'd that come from?
It comes from, I went to school for journalism.
Yeah.
Right. So I do have some basis of like, and I have an interest in marketing.
Right.
So a lot of the knowledge I have is just from Googling, right? Like I'll Google things, but I ask myself, okay, who's my audience?
Yeah.
Right? Who's my audience?
Yeah.
And then once I know who my audience is, now I can talk to them. Right. And yes, we're not hyper focusing on just one group of people. Right. You know, we're not doing that. We're saying, okay, who is the person I'm having the conversation with, and where do they like to eat? Where do they like to shop? And then I look at the product, which is the house, and I'm like, okay, well, you're not just buying the house, you're buying the lifestyle. Right. Yeah. So if the house has a detriment, right, maybe it's on a busy street. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, let's sell the community.
Right.
Right. Or let's sell the fact that it's close to a park.
Yeah.
Let's show all this stuff. Like recently, even I did a video on a house that I'm helping my client lease.
Nice.
Realtors don't make videos for leases. But in the opening part of the video that I'm going to be posting this week, the opening part of the video is not, welcome to 123 Main Street. This house is for lease. I look dead in the camera and I say, you know what? People who rent, they don't get enough love when they're looking for leases.
Exactly.
Aren't you guys disappointed? You're looking at iPhone photos. There's no digital floor plan. There's no walkthrough. Well, listen, not today. Not with a house that I'm
See, that's
putting
the
out
of the box thinking I'm talking about. Yeah.
And then of course the videographer's like, he's just following my lead. I show up with the idea because I'm thinking, how can I tell the story and not lose anyone's attention?
Yeah.
And what boards me? I consume content.
Right.
If I don't consume content, then I don't know what to do or what not to do.
Right.
So that's actually where I come up with my ideas. It's just, who's my audience? What's going to keep their attention? Who's the star of the show? It's not me.
And then, is this entertaining to me?
Is this entertaining to me? Would I actually like this?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And make it short and snappy. Have a strong hook. Make sure the music is good, because music's my thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Me
too. And then you put it out there and you hope for the best. And if it bombs, it bombs.
I don't think you have. I don't think you've had too many bombs lately.
Well, I mean, like, let's talk about the video that we did about the brokerages.
So, okay, yeah, tell me.
Because I honestly, when we filmed it,
okay, hold on, step back. Sorry, that was my next question. So, Broke Agent Media, you had a summit the other day. What was it?
This was their first in-person live event.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was spectacular.
And you spoke?
I did. I was the closing keynote.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's fitting.
Thank you.
Two things. That's cool. That video I loved. You guys all posted it together. Love that too. So cool. Walk me through that. How did that?
First of all, I'm not the mastermind behind it.
Yeah. So tell me. Walk me through that whole thing, because I thought that was so good.
So the guys in the video, who we should name, in the link to your podcast, so that way they get some credit, because they are the masterminds behind this.
Yeah. And who are the guys? Who are the main guys?
There's Dan and Dan.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You've got the two Dans.
Yep.
You've got Derek, Shane, and Chris.
Got it.
And so, and God, kill me if I'm forgetting anyone. Oh my God, that'd be so bad. I'm not forgetting anybody.
You said 5 people.
Yes.
5? You said 5.
Yeah. So, I got there early at the hotel, and I was just hanging out.
Yep.
And Chris pulls me aside and he's like, hey, Taya, we've got this idea for this video. He's like, are you familiar with the airline video where if people were airlines? And I was like, oh my God, I love that one. It's like Delta is all like, hello. And Southwest is like, hey, everybody wants, free, whatever. You don't pay to check your bags or something like that. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, we have this idea that what if brokerages were people? And I'm like, oh my God. I go, can I at least be Compass? And he's like,
was it like light bulbs going off? Like, this is amazing.
I was like, to be honest with you, I was nervous because I love comedy. I love improv, but I'm not the director. I'm not the editor. It's not my project. Yeah. So I'm participating in something that I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I love these guys. I trust them, and they are hysterical. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? We're going to have fun. Yeah. I just honestly, I heard the voice in the back of my head that was like, this could be a disaster. Yeah. And I was like, shut up, bitch. Like, we're going to have fun today. Who cares? And we just played improv. Yeah. He was like, okay, let's pretend you're at a broker's open and someone from Real shows up and, everybody gets annoyed with people from Real because it's like a Ponzi scheme. Sorry. But you literally get paid for bringing people to your brokerage.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? And if you get in early, you're just going to keep collecting and you get this trail of money. And it's like Keller Williams did the same thing.
So
anyway,
funny. That is so funny.
All of them. Look, guys, I love you. But like, I could never do that. It feels like network marketing.
Sure.
Which again, okay, everybody come at me, bro. Network marketing's annoying. Okay. So anyway, the whole thing was like, oh my God, he's here to recruit. Right.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be really straight faced
Yeah.
because he was going to be big.
Yeah.
So we were just playing with it. And then they were like, well, who's going to be Coldwell Banker? And I was like, well, I used to be at Coldwell Banker and I left because I felt like I was the youngest person there and like all that, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh my God. They're like, we have a wig. And I was
Perfect.
like, it.
Let's
the
go.
Wig on
Run
me.
it.
And when I put it on, they were laughing so hard. They're like, Taya, this is insane. And I'm like, I don't even want to look at myself. And so then they just started filming. And to be honest with you, I really want them to post the blooper reel.
Oh my gosh.
Because we did, we ran it where he's like, Coldwell Banker. And I was like, you don't need to shout.
Don't shout. Don't yell at me.
Yeah, but we did a bunch of them. So,
Are they going to do it? Are they going to do the bloopers?
I don't know if they're going to do the bloopers.
Was it Bobby shooting that?
No.
Oh, who shot it?
No, those. I mean, I forget who shot it.
I thought he did. Okay, fair enough.
No, they had someone else.
Interesting. Okay.
They had someone else. Bobby shot the event.
Okay, because that guy's the man. I love that guy.
Bobby's awesome. These guys had their other videographer there.
Okay.
But everything was on the fly.
Okay.
I mean, we literally shot it in the downstairs hallway.
Just pick different parts of the hotel.
Ritz-Carlton in Naples.
So cool.
I was like, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but the fact that it has almost 500,000 views now is insane.
No, it's insane. And it was so clever how you guys all posted together. Like,
yeah.
We've got like maybe 3 minutes
left.
Okay. What's the future for you right now? Where are you going? Because you've like crushed social and you're continuing to conquer.
I'm going to write a book.
Are you writing a book?
Yeah.
What is it?
I bought the domain name.
Okay.
I don't want to like give it away just yet, but everyone assumes that, I don't want to say everyone, but I've gotten a lot of DMs from people who follow me and feel like they know me, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But sometimes people will write me and they're like, how did you get over blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
How did you get through da, 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 da? And honestly, sometimes, and it's none of anyone's business. You know, I choose to put myself out there. So there's a responsibility with that. But like at the same time, I'm like, who says I'm over anything?
Yeah. Who's to say? Well, because like the eye test says you're killing it.
Right. But life, there's been people who are close to me and acquaintances, people I don't know, but within my, periphery, who have passed away in their mid 40s recently, within the last month, unexpectedly, whether it be a car accident or a heart attack or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, and it makes you kind of stop and go, what am I doing with my life? Like, I love selling real estate and I love that I can provide for my family. And I actually do love design and decor and like all of it. But I also love interacting with people. And I love being able to spend time with my family. And I love speaking at events because I feel like I can connect on a human level.
Yeah.
And that to me fills my cup in a way that very few things can, to know that you can make a difference in someone's life by just being vulnerable. And not to say that I'm more special than anyone else who's telling a story, but like I happen to have the courage to put myself out there, and a lot of people don't, right? Yeah. And so the fact that I have this knack, skill, whatever you want to call it, to be fearless in the moment, it doesn't mean that I don't have fear. Fearless in the moment. I do have fear.
Yeah.
I do fear rejection. I do fear loss. I do feel sometimes like I'm not good enough. Yeah. I do have insecurities, but I also have moments of abundance and joy and gratitude and pride and all of those things. Yeah. And so the future for me looks like me taking that to the next level and sharing that with more people on a more, to scale.
Sure. Damn.
Not just real estate.
I love it.
I want to do real estate and a book and more public speaking. And I want to continue being an amazing mom and providing the world with two amazing boys that are in touch with their emotions and are intelligent and vulnerable and strong and fearless and all those things. And, the world can thank me later.
Yeah. Well, so you heard it here. Maybe not first, but
No, this is the first time I've ever
you
said
heard it here first. Taya DiCarlo's writing a book. That's
I'm gonna
tight.
write a book.
Well, congratulations. That's gonna be. I know it's gonna be great. So,
Thank you.
all right, my last question. We're at our last minute that you got to go. So every time you're about to hit post on social media, you have, even with all your success and all your speaking opportunities and people that want you to help them and talk and all the referrals and all the views and all the success, you got to hit the post button and you're still feeling
level 10 anxiety.
Wow. So that's it. Literally.
Yeah.
Level 10 anxiety is just, sometimes it's what it's got to be. So
I feel the fear and I do it anyway.
Right.
That's the definition of courage.
That's right.
You got to feel those feelings and show up regardless, because you can't let your mood dictate.
Right. Well, that's our time.
Yeah.
Taya, thank you so much for coming over here. I love you too. It's seriously been a fun journey for both of us. Yeah. So I'm glad we're both crushing. I'm glad
we're going to continue on. The journey's not over.
Yeah. No, it's just starting. It's just starting. So thanks. And all right. Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Okay. Cool. Okay.